Hey guys, Tyler here. So today I'm going to be leading off with my first album review on this channel. So the album I'm going to be reviewing today is an album called At the Heart of Winter by a black metal band called Immortal. Now, Immortal got their start in the early 90s in Norway. They were originally comprised of a duo, two guys, and their stage names were Abath Doom Occulta and Demonaz Doom Occulta. They had a variety of different drummers throughout their existence. They recently have settled on a drummer who goes by the name Horg, and they were later joined by the bassist Apollyon. Now, in their early days, they were very heavy on kind of thrash elements in their music. There were a lot of influences from a lot of death metal groups that were big at the time, namely like Bathory, groups like that. That's definitely present in their music. But as time went on, they started to lean more and more towards the black metal side of things. Now, after a little while, Demonaz Doom Occulta, who was originally one of their guitarists, injured his hands and wrists and was unable to play guitar anymore. So he stayed on in a mainly songwriting fashion, and Abath took over main duties of recording the guitar parts and playing guitar live. Their current lineup is Abath, Horg, and Apollyon, and with Abath providing vocals as well as a guitar. At the time, many of their contemporaries were focusing very heavily on anti-Christian imagery. In fact, many of the members of the black metal scene in Norway at the time were convicted of arson or murder based on some of their actions, and this was very evident in much of their songwriting. Immortal mainly stayed away from that. They focused on something they called Blashyrk, which was this grim and frostbitten kingdom that they wrote many of their songs about. For instance, one of their earlier albums was called Battles in the North and was all about this kingdom of Blashyrk, where these men would battle against demons and all of this kind of all these thematic elements. So while in garb and dress they wore the black and white corpse paint and shared many of the stylistic similarities with many of their contemporaries in Norway, they didn't share that same anti-Christian sensibility. That's actually probably best seen in a video they did early in their career for one of their songs called Call of the Winter Moon. And now it seems as though it's done in a serious attempt to capture the feel of the song. Take a look for yourself and just watch the video. If you're not interested in listening to the music itself, put it on mute. It's absolutely worth a watch because it's hilarious. I seriously can't tell whether or not they made it as a joke or not, and I kind of hope they didn't because it's really beautiful. So just from these kind of things, and as well as interviews with Abath, I'll link one of those interviews below where you can kind of get a sense of what kind of person he is, as well as what kind of vibe the band is going for. You get a sense that they were not a part of this. But at the same time, they were producing this really heavy, really dark black metal. And nowhere is that more evident than in their album At the Heart of Winter. At the Heart of Winter was Immortal's fifth studio album, and a significant development that occurred between this and their previous album was this was the first album that did not feature Demonaz on guitars, where he was mainly involved in a songwriting capacity. This really, in my opinion, is their peak achievement. Now, I'm sure there are going to be people who are going to tell me about how, Blizzard Beasts, or about how, all these other Immortal albums are their best albums, but this one, in my opinion, is absolutely their best work. Now, I'm going to tell you why. So, this album, actually, in case any of you are watching this in the month of March 2014, click below. This album is on sale right now on Amazon for like $3.50. It's crazy cheap, and you should absolutely take advantage of that. It's absolutely worth it. I've never been able to find it in CD format for less than like $15. But so this album is only 6 tracks long, but it still clocks in at over 45 minutes. These tracks are absolutely epic in scale. Most of them are over 8 minutes long. Each one has a really incredible structure, and I think where a lot of people take issue with this album is many of the tracks have a fairly long and drawn out symphonic intro. That for me, however, is not a problem. It really sets the mood. It really makes you feel like you're in this grim, frosty kingdom with no escape. But that's not to say that this album is lacking in the riffs and the heavy blast beats that characterize Immortal's sound. Far from it. In fact, some of their best riffs are on this album. Some of my personal favorites come from tracks Where the Dark and Light Don't Differ, as well as At the Heart of Winter, the titular track. They of course they have a little bit of the atmospheric components to them, but they absolutely deliver, and I think that's one of Immortal's strongest suits. Abath is a fantastic riff writer. Some of the riffs he comes up with are absolutely fantastic. They hit hard and they don't let up. And I think that's really one of the strongest parts of this album is those riffs. But to me, the fusion of those atmospheric elements along with those riffs really elevates this album above some of the other work. And while I am a fan of Immortal's earlier work, and even their more recent efforts, which I was very surprised to really, really enjoy, I felt like this album was the most mature and complex of their work to date when they put it out, and still holds up today. And of course, the drums are absolutely fantastic. Horg is an incredible drummer. I will say, though, it's very interesting to listen to some of their earlier work and then hear them perform it again live more recently. You can definitely feel how they've tightened up as a band and really come together and melded together to bring a really tight, focused kind of attack to their music. And so I think that this album, as well as their other albums, really hold up well. As far as I can say, this is their best album, but I would highly recommend that you check out their other work. In particular, I really love Battles in the North. It's a fantastic album. Blizzard Beast is also really good. Some of their more recent stuff, I'm not as big a fan of. Their most recent album is also excellent. So give them a listen if you haven't before. I'll actually link below to a full track listing of the album. It's all up on YouTube. You can listen to it. I'd highly recommend doing that and listening to some of their other work. It's definitely worth a listen. I hope you guys have enjoyed this review, and if you have, click the like and subscribe button below. I'll be producing more content like this. I know I have kind of focused a little bit on metal on this channel so far, but I'm definitely not going to be only focusing on that. I want to be doing reviews of all kinds of different music and talking about all the different music that has really moved me and is really important to me, because music is not just one genre, it's a whole variety of different things. So I'll be trying to make sure I hit each one of those things and really run the gamut of different kinds of music so you guys can find album suggestions and reviews for things that you're going to enjoy. So I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video, and I hope you all have a great day.